Welcome to Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc, the wildest tag team in podcasting where the kayfabe drops and the chaos takes over. Let's ring the damn bell.
Headlock fight, heels on the prowl, dropping elbows, hearing growl, feel the foul. No script here, just real, no bluff. Kayfabe crack, now the dirt gets rough. Headlocks, heels, havoc in the zone. Stepping in the ring, chaos at your home. No filters, no mask, just raw pants on. Wrestling unscripted, we on the throne. Title bells, mic checks, crowd going crazy. Drop truth bombs, leaving lines feeling hazy. Beyond the kayfabe, past the charade, where legends are born and stories get made. Headlocks poppin', who's hitting the mat? Welcome to the havoc where the real talk's at. Tune in, step through, leave the fake at the door. Headlocks, heels, havoc, now hear the roar.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am, of course, one half of the greatest tag team in this podcasting game. It's me, it's that Legend. And with me, as always, is everybody's favorite uncle and my tag team partner, Uncle Slam.
What's up, family, and welcome to the People Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another action-packed edition of Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc Wrestling Unscripted. Tonight, the stakes get even higher as the greatest world heavyweight champion of all time tournament continues with two of the most influential promotions in wrestling history, Extreme Championship Wrestling and Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. From the blood-soaked battles of the ECW arena to the unforgettable moments that define TNA, we're breaking down every legendary champion, every iconic title reign, and every unforgettable moment to determine who deserves to advance one step closer to being crowned the greatest world heavyweight champion of all time. To help us tackle this stacked brackets, we've assembled an outstanding panel of wrestling minds, and most of them are coming back. Joining us tonight is the bad guy, JD, president of Mayhem Media, whose passion for professional wrestling and fearless opinions always makes for must-see conversation.
Hey, yo.
Also with us for his first appearance on this show ever is the prediction specialist, Jacob the Wolfman from Mayhem Media, a man who never shies away from making bold picks and backing them up.
Yeah, before we start, I just want to dedicate this episode to my cousin who just had her second stroke. She is in the urgent care right now.
We will definitely, everybody keep your prayers up and thoughts and everything for Wolfman's aunt. And yeah, hopefully she pulls through and everything.
It's my cousin, not my aunt.
Oh, cousin. Sorry, cousin. But yeah, sorry to hear about it, man. It's terrible. It's just terrible. I hate to hear it. Let's see here. And well, actually, to be honest with you, the savior of wrestling, Chad Casey from, good Lord, I can't talk tonight. Chad Casey from Aftermath Pro Wrestling, whose deep knowledge of the sport and unique perspective always brings another level to the discussion.
What's up, everybody?
And of course, as pretty much a last minute addition, we brought the bald guy, Andrew from Popcorn and Whiskey, back. We always appreciate the face that runs the place. Thank you for being here, buddy.
That's right. Thank you for having me here. I am Andrew, Popcorn and Whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. That's right. Let's get this show on the road, folks.
That's right. Tonight there will be heated debate, shocking opinions, and plenty of arguments as we decide which ECW and TNA world champions are worthy of moving on in this historic tournament. So grab your favorite beverage, jump into the live chat, and let your voice be heard, because this is Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc Wrestling Unscripted, where wrestling history is always up for debate and no opinion is safe. So let's ring the damn bell. And tonight, I'm handing the reins over to Uncle Slam. Uncle Slam is running the show tonight, so take it away, Uncle Slam.
All right. I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Don't forget to follow, share, and like Headlock, Heels, and Havoc. Today, we're going to be tackling ECW versus TNA. The first one we're going to start with is ECW. I'm going to start off right now for the first question. I'm going to ask everybody, what do you think uh, is your definition of a ECW champion? What defines them and what makes them different from any other champion? I'm going to start with the legend here since he's my
Oh,
co-host.
wow. See, ECW is different for me because I didn't get to see a whole lot of ECW, and I'm not a big deathmatch fan. I'm not saying it's not an art. I'm not going to rag on anybody for it, but that kind of match, the hardcore stuff, the deathmatch stuff, it just never really interested me. I'm more of a traditional wrestling fan, like NWA type stuff. So to me, ECW is just like who can I guess, outgross the other person, and I don't mean at the box office. It's more of who can make the most extreme move and do it night in and night out. I guess is the best thing. I don't know. It's hard to describe ECW for me because I just wasn't a huge fan of it.
All right, that's one perspective. I'm going to go with JD.
Yeah, I'm actually with J-Mac on the hardcore part. I'm not really much on the bleeding constantly in the death match and some of the stuff that they put on, but um, I definitely think that they had their niche. You can't deny that there were
Yes.
people who enjoyed their product. So for me, an ECW champion, I think you have to have some of that hardcore. I think that has to be a necessity. I think that's going to be the major difference here with ECW compared to some of the other companies we're doing is that the hardcore element, I think, is more of a factor with ECW.
Okay.
I agree.
Next, we'll go to Chad Casey.
I'm the same. I'm the same as the other two. I'm there's a time and place for hardcore, in my opinion, and that's what made ECW like special. I still don't like it all the time, but it they had their audience. They still have their audience, but um, it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be different. Uh, Choosing versus like what we did the last time.
Okay. And Andrew?
I got to say that, just like the other guys, I was not in a position where I could watch a whole lot of ECW. And I do believe it was where I was living at the time did not have that station that they were on. So just through magazines, because they were at the very beginning of the internet. So a lot of dirt sheets weren't on the internet yet. And so I didn't have a whole lot of reference for them. But from everything that I gathered while they were live as a promotion, and also to this day, they have some of the most loyal fans, or had some of the most loyal fans in the history of professional wrestling.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
You forgot
Wolfman?
Wolfman Slam.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, sir. Wolfman, what about you, sir?
Well, I think ECW was way better. Well, back then it was a tie between what was WWF, which is now WWE. But I think back then they were a pretty good tight knit group, but they still had their differences. But they still had their issues with the blood and the death matches, and it's like every night was blood, sweat, and somebody seriously got injured.
Yeah.
But I just got to say it was a whole lot better than what wrestling is now on TV.
Okay.
I do want to
Do you,
add too that that's one
go ahead.
thing you can't take away from the company of ECW is that they, like Andrew said, they did have a very loyal fan base, but they
Mm-hmm.
also were, like you said, they had their issues behind the scenes, but they were very loyal to each other in making that company work.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like before we start this, do you think that they maybe pigeonholed themselves because of the death matches and the blood and stuff that maybe if they didn't have so much of that, they might have been around a lot longer, maybe got a better television deal, maybe got more sponsors?
Quick answer to me, yes.
No,
JD,
No.
Wolfman.
I believe so because I think they just jumped in without even looking before jumping in, if you know what I mean.
Okay. The Savior.
I think yes. I think it definitely altered their way of getting a better television deal for sure.
All right, Andrew. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it hurt them nationally for sponsorship. Locally in the Philadelphia area, I think they could have got whatever they wanted just for the loyal fan bases. I mean, they could have went to Joe's Auto Shop and got a sponsorship from Joe if they wanted to. I'm sure.
See, that's everybody said yes. I was the only one to say no, and I want to say that I think if they lose that extreme, I don't think they keep the niche. I don't think they have the loyalty, the hardcore fan base that they have. That's why I don't think. That's why I say no, because I think their fan base is what kept them around as long as they were.
That is true. They did have some of the most loyal fans out there, and I think there's, the ones that are still around are. I mean, obviously, when WWE brought back, the one night stand, it was a big success.
One Night Stand was a
So-
success, but WWE's ECW run was a train
trust me,
wreck.
Holy, that
yes,
was
yes, it
horrible.
was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. That one pay per view was good. The rest of it was trash. I
Yeah.
totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree on that. All right, let's get this started off with the Sandman and Shane Douglas for our first match.
Man.
I'm going to start with the bad guy for this one.
Really, man, that's
I'll start it.
Okay,
it.
Andrew, there
let
you go.
Andrew,
See,
let
give you
Andrew
time
go
to think.
first on this one.
You saved him there.
Just because I don't know either one. I mean, I know of them. I cannot remember watching either one of them wrestle, but I also did know the Sandman when he came out. The place went berserk every time he came out, and I never heard that kind of reaction about Shane Douglas coming out. Maybe it was, I just never heard it. So based on what I've heard, I got to put the Sandman on this one.
All right, we got one for Sandman. Savior.
Looking at it as far as like the extreme factor, I got to give it to the Sandman. I want to give it to Shane Douglas because he had two major title reigns of one of almost 400 days, and it was like 385, and then the other one was 400 days. But I think just the extreme factor of it, you got to go with Sandman. I mean, he comes out, he bashes his head in with a beer can or the kendo stick, and he's already started the extreme without even getting in the ring.
All right, that's two for the Sandman. Wolfman.
I personally got to choose my man Shane Douglas
Shane Douglas.
because
Okay.
last year I got to actually meet Shane Douglas in person.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
He was the coolest guy ever. He even he teasingly flipped me the bird.
He's like, he said that was enough for me.
So I got to go with Shane Douglas.
All right. JD, you want me to skip you and go to
No, I'll
Legend, or are you ready?
Yeah, no, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
My main thing is everybody saying about Sandman and the Extreme, and I couldn't agree with that more. But Shane Douglas was, that whole thing he gave, the speech he gave when he threw out the NWA title and they broke away and actually became Extreme Wrestling, the Extreme Wrestling Federation, or Extreme Championship Wrestling. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. Man, that was so huge at the time. You know what I mean? And Shane Douglas being the first one to hold the belt and to have a long reign with it too. That's why I didn't want to answer right away, because man, this might be one of the hardest picks in the tournament. You're going with a guy who
I was thinking
helped
the same thing,
the
honestly.
formation. Yeah, you're talking about a guy who helped with the formation of ECW against Sandman, who could be argued as one of the faces of ECW. In the end, I'm gonna have to choose Sandman. I really want to choose Shane Douglas because of his speech and because of his title reigns. I really want that. But I think Sandman is one of those faces of ECW. There's only 3 or 4 of them that I think are the faces and, just represent everything ECW is or was. And I think Sandman is one of them. So I am going to also have to pick Sandman.
All right, looks like 3-1 for Sandman, but go ahead, Legend.
You know, I I understand everybody's arguments for Sandman, but we're talking about the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. And I get that Sandman is a 5-time ECW champion. He is the all time ECW champion. But at the end of the day, we're talking about professional wrestling, whether it be hardcore, whether it be, strong style, whether it be luchador, whatever. And Shane Douglas, for a time, was one of the best wrestlers in the world. I cannot say that ever about Sandman slash Hack. I think that's exactly what
Oh,
he was, in my opinion. I don't think he was, and maybe I just didn't catch the right time, but I just don't see what the appeal about Sandman is. I think the biggest pops he got was smacking a beer can against his own head and making himself bleed. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's got to go Shane Douglas.
All right, we got 3-2 Sandman. On this
well, if
one,
I
like
would
I
have,
was like JD, I think that this was like a really tough one, especially to start off with, because when you look at Sandman, he's easily the face of ECW. I mean, he's not the typical wrestler. He's got a dad bod. He's drinking a beer. He's smoking a cigarette. He's got a kendo stick. He's in the audience. He's getting ripped before he's not your stereotypical wrestler. He's more like an ECW fan. And then the total opposite is Shane Douglas. He's the wrestler's wrestler. He looks like a wrestler. He talks like a wrestler. He cuts like killer promos and shit. Some of the best promos,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, the one famous for the ECW. When he trashed the belt, he talked about all the legends. Oh, the Dusty Rhodes, oh, the Terry Funk, the Cactus Jack, this and that. F all them and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about none of them. I'm the best. And, this is the belt that's going to be running things and stuff. So, I mean, that right there is it's like two polar opposites of ECW, but they are so ECW. Like, it's just, it's crazy. This was really, like I said, this is one of the hardest ones I had to decide. I mean, like, if I was going to pick, it ain't going to change anything. I probably,
Oh yeah, you can tie it up.
ah, God, this is so hard, like I said, because I'm over here thinking, got Sandman, who I really, really liked and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got Shane Douglas, who I hated, but that's what made him so good. I hated him all the time.
Mhm.
I never liked him, but that's because he did his job. But in the end, I'm gonna go Sandman on this one.
Alrighty, so Sandman advances in that one.
All right, next one is gonna be Taz and Raven. On this one, I'm
oh,
gonna start out. I'm poor JD. I'm gonna start out with the legend for this one.
Alrighty, Taz and Raven. This is hard. This is really hard because you talk about two cornerstones. I mean, in the first two matches, we have talked about four guys who could arguably be considered for the cornerstones of ECW. I think the only other two people, maybe besides that, would be maybe RVD and Sabu.
I would
Um,
agree with that statement.
Mhm.
Yep.
but as far as that goes, this is so hard. But we gotta break it down. I mean, Taz had the neck injuries not held him back. Taz was going to go on to do great things. Taz could wrestle. Raven, I remember when he was Scotty Flamingo, and what I can't remember his name in the WWE, Polo or Johnny Polo, but to come from that to totally reinventing yourself and becoming Raven and having your flock, that it was huge things in ECW, and they contributed to probably some of the biggest storylines in ECW through the course of the original thing of ECW. Taz was just a machine. I think Taz could have eventually, had he not broke his neck and stuff and had the neck issues, I think Taz could have been ECW's Hulk Hogan, their Sting, whatever you want to call it. He could have been the person that they put the company on his back for a few years and made a whole lot of money, especially him versus Funk. Um, man, this is hard. But if I break it down, it's real hard. If I break it down, though, I'm going to give this Raven hits the even flow and moves on.
So you got Raven on this one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Andrew next.
Again, I didn't get to watch hardly any live during it, but outside of dirt sheets and magazines and stuff, reading it. Taz was just a beast, but Raven was so influential in different things and mind games and everything else. I'm going to give this one to Raven. As much as I like Tav, I'm giving this one to Raven.
All right, we got two Ravens right now. Next we're gonna go the Savior here.
I got to go with Raven. Taz was a monster, but I look at him more as a wrestler, not an extremist. You have like the dream matches of like watching him like wrestle like Chad Gable, Kurt Angle, and all them. The technical side of it, Raven just exudes the extreme style to me.
So you're going with Raven on this one. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. We got three Raven. It looks like Wolfman, you're up, sir.
I just gotta say, I grew up watching both of these men, and Taz has his advantages, but if we're talking extreme championship wrestling, it would have to be Raven, because if you think about it, Raven was like a mixture of Sting, Darby Allin, all in one, if you know what I mean, because they were all dark and mysterious. And Raven was kind of dark and mysterious in his own special way.
Oh yeah.
So you're
So
going with a Raven on this one?
yeah,
All right. You got a 4-0. Are you gonna make it a sweep, JD?
Yes, I am. I'm going to go with Raven because I think, like was already said, I think Taz has his place, but with the injury and stuff, had he not had that injury, I think it would probably be picking Taz over Raven, even though Raven maybe is more ECW. But I don't think Taz did enough for long enough to be like the greatest champion in ECW, not over Raven at least. So yeah, I'm going to also pick Raven and make it a sweep.
All right. We got 4 for Raven, none for Taz. Now, I'm gonna be the odd
5 for
man out
Raven.
for
Five for Raven.
5. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be the odd man out here. I was gonna pick Taz because I look at it like Raven was a psychological. All his mind games, all his stuff he did, with Tommy Dreamer and the kids and all that. He was one of those, he was an okay wrestler, but he was more of a mental. Taz is Brooklyn. He's old school. He's from the city. Like you can't do the mind games with him. So I don't feel like he would have the same effect. And I feel like Taz's style, as far as he was Suplex City before Suplex City. There really wasn't too many people that he couldn't take down, in my opinion. So I would have went for Taz, but it doesn't matter. It's majority rules on this one. So Raven is moving on to the next round.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, next one up, we got.
It's on the screen if you need it too.
Okay, we got Terry Funk and Mike Awful. All right, I'm going to start with JD first on this one.
Yeah, let's just be clear that if we were talking about Mike Awesome versus Terry Funk, that's pretty oddball match, and I think Mike Awesome wins it. Uh, I'm also going to pick Mike Awesome because I think even though he wasn't, I wouldn't pick him as one of the pillars or one of the faces, but he was ECW's big man for quite a while. So, and Terry Funk, yeah, he's extreme, he's done all that, but we're talking about greatest champions of all time, and I don't think Terry Funk was the greatest ECW champion of all time. I would think of Mike Awesome before I think of Terry Funk at ECW. So Mike Awesome.
All right. Wolfman.
No offense to Mike Awesome, but I've never heard of him. I've never seen any of his matches, but I have seen Terry Funk in matches, and I'm like, that dude is one crazy cowboy. But I gotta go with Terry Funk.
All right, we got 1-1. All right, Savior.
So I'm not familiar with Mike Awesome. So I did my research on both of them just to see their title reigns. Both of them's got 2, and they're almost identical. Terry Funk's got 90 days on one reign and 118 on the other. Mike Awesome's got 89 and 112. I know Terry Funk more, so I gotta give him the edge on that. I've seen Mike Awesome's name here and there, but it's not something that I'm just like, oh yeah, I've seen his matches. Like, I gotta give this one to Terry.
All right.
Alrighty.
Andrew, sir.
Like the other guys, I've never seen Mike Awesome wrestle, but I do know the name. Then again, it's nothing against him. I just wasn't in a position at the time where I could watch ECW. Okay. When I think of Terry Funk, there's probably 3 or 4 other promotions I would think of him in before I didn't even know he was in ECW until this tonight.
Neither did
So
I.
yeah, so I can't phantom him being a champion for ECW, and I didn't even know he was in there. But I mean, think about 3 or 4 other promotions, absolutely. So that being said, I got to give it to Mike Awesome.
All right, let's see. So it's tied up. Legend.
Tied up. You know, I went into this with the same attitude that Andrew had about how, there were other promotions that I think of whenever I think of Terry Funk. But again, when I started doing research, I found out, did you know Terry Funk is only a one time NWA champion? And that's it. Other than ECW world titles, he never held another world championship.
You could say that about Dusty Rhodes as well, too, couldn't you?
Even in
Well, no,
Japan.
he had 3. He had 3.
Okay.
Now, as far as Japan, I don't know if he held any like world titles in Japan. I know Terry Funk is very loved in Japan,
Yeah,
but that right there,
IWGPA.
yeah, that right there was enough to like surprise me because you always hear Ric Flair talk about the Funks, the Briscoes,
Mm-hmm.
This, that, and the other, and everything. And I've always heard the name Terry Funk. Whether it was, him and his brother at WrestleMania, one of the first WrestleManias, whether it was him and Flair at Starrcade, and that great feud that they had. I always thought Funk was at least a 2 or 3 time world champion, but he's not. I mean, as far as other promotions, he's had more ECW championships than he's had others. But Mike Awesome, I think, was going to be the future of ECW had it stayed and had he stayed. He left and went to what
WCW.
is it? WCW, yeah, towards the end of WCW's days when they were trying to save everything. I've always heard how Mike Awesome was going to be the future of the business. So for me, I'm going to give this one to Mike Awesome.
All right, so it looks like 3-2 for Mike Awesome on this one.
You can tie it up.
Honestly, I didn't really know who Mike Awesome was like everybody else. When I looked it up, I remembered who he was, but he still wasn't very familiar to me. Now, he's a big guy with the mullet pretty much, but but he can move. Like he's one of those big guys that doesn't mind jumping off the top ropes. He'll do some aerial stuff. So I was kind of surprised about that. Everybody knows Terry Funk. The name, the legend. He's a hardcore legend and all that. Um, but I feel like Terry Funk is more like when I think of ECW, I think of Terry Funk. I don't think of him in other promotions. I guess like y'all do as much or whatever. Um, to me, he's more ECW, or he's more death matches or hardcore, which to me is more ECW style. So like if I had to pick somebody, I would pick Terry Funk. But I will go with the
Alrighty.
majority.
So we are tied.
I
Oh
just
no,
gotta
no, are we
say-
not tied? Are you going with Funk?
Yeah, I'm going Funk.
You did go with Funk? Okay, so we are tied. So we do have to spin the wheel on this one, guys.
Spin
Before
the
we
Go
go
ahead.
anywhere
That's
else,
what you
I
were
just
wanting to
gotta
say,
say,
Jacob.
wheel. Spin the wheel.
I just want to say, rest
I
in
know
peace
it.
to Terry Funk.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes.
he passed away, didn't he?
But-
Yeah.
He did.
Yep, he's in the main event in the
Alrighty,
sky.
I got. All right, we got Funk versus Awesome right here. The third wheel. I'm going to spin it. Here we go, fellas. This is who wins.
Look at you with all this technology.
Terry Funk it is. Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
it
it's
ain't. Landed
not.
on Mike Awesome.
What?
Mike Awesome won. So
Alright.
Mike Awesome
Wow.
advanced.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
So Mike, say it gives you a little, spin the wheel, make the deal type thing.
All right, guys,
Like
this
the
is the
Price is
last
Right or
match of the
something.
Let's
first
move this
round.
around again, guys.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
What is it?
All right.
Yeah, last
Last
match.
match of the first round is going to be Sabu versus Christian. Now we're
Oh,
going to
that's
switch
not
it
a
up, and I
contest.
think I'm going to start with.
Start with me.
I'll start with JD since he volunteered. There you go, JD.
Sabu. It's not even a contest. Sabu.
Yeah.
That was quick and easy. Andrew.
I didn't even know Christian was in ECW, so yeah, Sabu.
He was in the WWE version, Andrew. That's why you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because it
He was
sucked.
what?
That's why.
He was in the.
He shouldn't even be in the tournament, bro.
Yep. He was
Okay.
in the
That's what
WWE
I was
version.
thinking when I was doing research. I was like, when the fuck did he go to ECW? And then I saw that it was the WWE version of it.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
Like, okay, that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, not
But
even a
he
contest.
is officially an ECW champion.
You can officially sit there
We
and
got
get your
two
one vote,
Sabus.
J-Mac.
Two Sabus.
Oh, I didn't say.
Wolfman.
Like
I didn't
JD
say I
says, the
was
bracket's
voting
already
for him.
filled out for this one.
Well,
Wolfman, who you got, sir?
I remember watching Sabu and that, like in the barbed wire matches when they surrounded the ring instead of ropes, it was
Yeah.
barbed wire. Remember those?
Yep.
Yep.
That guy was crazy, and I'm like, this guy is ECW. I got to go with Sabu, and may he rest in peace. Also,
Sabu is one of those
All right.
pillars of
Three
ECW.
Sabus. All right,
That's
Randy
he's like
Savior.
I said, he's one of the people.
I mean, this one's easy. It's definitely Sabu. Christian had the longer title reign, but he had the Wish version of ECW.
Thank you.
like it wasn't ECW. Like
Absolutely, it was
like
not.
there was. I mean, yeah, you had hardcore matches, but it wasn't the ECW hardcore matches. Like Sabu, RVD, Sandman, they were the only reasons why it was still considered ECW when they brought it back.
And they didn't last very long.
nope.
I see why. All
He
right,
said he
Legend.
had the Wish version of it.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
like that one.
I got to stick with what I said earlier. I love Christian. Christian is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I think he's an underdog. I think he would have made a great world champion at least a few times in the WWE. I think he's been very, very, very underappreciated in his career. However, Yes, it was the Wish, Timu, whatever you want to call it, dollar store version of ECW,
eBay.
and it wasn't. If he had been there during, if he had been there during the original inception and stuff and everything, yeah, we could probably make the argument. But again, like I said earlier, there's probably six guys who are, you could argue Tommy Dreamer too. But Sabu's just one of those guys like the Sandman, Douglas, Taz, and Raven that just, those are the guys you think of when you think of ECW. And yeah, Sabu's got to get it for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand why Christian's on this list either because I honestly think of him more as a TNA person
Oh
than
yeah,
I do a
Yeah.
ECW. To be honest, I mean that's what I think of him. It's Sabu
Typo.
all day.
the Make a
You
Wish
know what
version.
I'm saying? All the dives off the top ropes, all the dives into the audience. Come on, man, this guy was ECW to the core. So
Hmm.
I mean that was an easy one right there.
Yep.
All right, that concludes our first round.
Yep.
You got those graphics for us, sir?
Yes, sir. Sandman and Raven, Mike Osman, Sabu.
All
Good
right.
matchups.
First one, we're going to go with Sandman versus the Raven. I'm going to go with the legend here.
Sandman versus Raven. Well, like I said, I've never seen what was so great about the Raven, or not Raven, Sandman. I don't know. It never made me excited to see him smashing a beer can. We talking about Timu ECW? Well, that's Timu Stone Cold right there. So, and when they gave him a stick. So, at the end of the day, for me, it's Raven all day long.
You got Wolfman choking to death over there, J Mac.
I mean, I'm just saying, Timu Stone Cold with the stick does not win.
Oh, God. So you got, what, the Raven for this? I'm assuming.
Yes, sir.
All right, one for Raven.
Quote the
Savior.
Raven, nevermore.
I gotta go with the Raven. I'm kind of the same way with J Mac. like Sandman's really only claim for me wise is he come out with a stick and a beer can.
And a cigarette. Don't forget the cigarette.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't forget the cigarette.
I'm smart.
Oh, come
I'm a
on, J
wrestler.
Mac. If you're gonna do it, do it for real, buddy. Come on, let's see it.
We need you to drink the water and spit it out, too.
I
Yeah, like
This is,
the
I
Raven.
don't
Raven
get it.
just is better in my opinion. I look at him as just a better wrestler, even with the extreme wrestling. Like I have him like 3 or 4 bars higher.
All right. That's fair. Let's see. Wolfman, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Who do you got, sir?
I gotta go with Raven because I was not a fan of Sandman. I don't know what it was with him, but Sandman just looked like he had a bad attitude inside the ring and outside the ring, and he's just like, he don't give a shit what you think. He probably treated the fans like crap. That's not what you do in a company. You
No
respect
offense,
the
he was
fans.
probably drunk and high most of the time, but that's
So I gotta go with
That was
Raven.
New Jack,
Raven,
okay? That was New Jack.
Yeah,
it,
Yeah,
look,
how
with-
come New Jack's not on this list?
Because he
Well-
wasn't a world champ.
Oh, okay.
He
I
just
think
tried to
everybody
kill
can
people.
agree. If you're working
never
with
a
a
champion.
wrestling company, you got to respect the fans
That is so
because
true.
the fans technically paid the wrestlers.
oh yeah,
They do.
If you disrespect the fans, they're not going to
Yeah.
come to the show.
100%.
So I think Raven respected the fans more than Sandman. So from a fan's point of view, I got to go with the Raven.
All right, we got 3 Raven. Andrew, sir, what you got?
As much as the pop was for the Sandman, I'm not a fan of the cigarette thing, so I'm going with Raven.
All right, it's 4. JD.
Yeah, I want to pick Sandman too, especially because he's the all-time ECW champion. He's had the most reigns in ECW and stuff. I definitely want to pick him, but and even though it's ECW, at the end of the day, though, there is still wrestling. Wrestling has to be involved, and
That was a good idea.
Sandman wasn't much of a wrestler beyond beating somebody with a kendo stick or whatever. I don't even maybe a vertical suplex was in his arsenal, and the only other wrestling move he did was the Russian leg sweep, which was with the kendo stick. So I'm gonna have to, being that this is a tournament about professional wrestling, even with ECW, I'm gonna have to go with Raven because I think he's overall the better wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Looks like Raven's got this. I kind of agree with y'all on this just a little bit, but I do like the Sandman. I didn't hate him like Legend did or whatever. But you're right. Like he wasn't really a wrestler. He was a brawler. He was, like he wasn't, like you wasn't gonna see like an arm drag. You wasn't gonna see like a suplex. You're gonna see him probably punching you, kicking you, hitting you with the kendo stick. One of his biggest, claim to fame is the entrance is Inner Sandman. It got everybody hyped. It got everybody going. I mean, that's what really got everybody, hyped about it. So, I mean, like JD said, when it comes to wrestling, I got to give it to Raven.
Nothing gets rednecks going more than smashing a beer on your head.
Or burning somebody with a cigarette.
While playing Metallica.
While carrying a stick.
No, that sounds like a stereotype over here.
Right.
Hey, I'm a huge Metallica fan.
Looks like Raven won that.
He would have been the king of the redneck brawl.
I think he was a few years after ECW closed.
All right. Like, did we get everybody?
Probably. I don't know.
It looks like that was.
I think so. And Raven moved on.
Yeah, Raven pretty much took that wholeheartedly. All right. Next up, we got Sabu and Mike Awesome. I'm gonna switch it up, and I'm gonna start with the Savior.
This one's another easy one for me. Like I said when I did the Mike Awesome one before, I'd really never heard of him, but Sabu is, if he's not the face of the company, like he's one of them. When I think of ECW, he's one. Probably for me, he's probably the first name that I come to. So he takes it easily.
All right, let's see. Legend.
Well, I mean, again, we're talking about one of the pillars of ECW versus a guy who could have been the future. And I say that, rest in peace, Mike Awesome. It's sad that he succumbed to what he did. I believe it was his addictions. But I believe the man had a whole lot of potential. I really do. Just watching him. He was a 6'7", 6'8" guy, built like, Brian Adams, Brian Clark, that type of guy that could move. And, yeah. And, so, I mean, there's no telling where his potential could have taken him. And unfortunately, it was cut short because of things like that. But Sabu, Sabu's just, he's literally an ECW legend. When you think of ECW and you think legend, Sabu's one of the first names that pops in your head. So I got to give it to Sabu.
All right, let's see. Who we got? JD, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick. As much as I like Mike Awesome, and he was a big guy, but he's not who you think about. So yeah, I'm also gonna go with Sabu.
Sabu. Okay, that's another Sabu. Let's see. Andrew, sir.
Sabu is synonymous with ECW. I mean, again, you think of ECW and he's going to be in your top top 5 at least. I mean, it's sad, but he's top 3 people you think of. So it's got to be Sabu, no question.
All right. For the clean sweep, Wolfman.
I gotta say, to help J Mac, he was 6'6", 292 pounds. Mike Awesome. He died from suicide. I gotta say Sabu.
Sabu. Sabu for the sweep. I think I was kind of.
You forgot Chad.
No.
No, I started it.
Oh, did you start
yeah.
it? Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
started it.
I'm stupid.
Okay.
Pay
Well,
no
you kept
attention to
switching
the.
around the positions.
Yeah.
I had to,
My bad, man. My bad. This thing's messed all up. I gotta mess with it. My apologies.
you're fine. Like I said,
I'm
I'm
sabotaging him.
I'm kind of following everybody else's on this. Like I said, I really didn't know much about Mike Awesome. I like I would know him if I saw him, but as far as knowing much about his career, I really don't know much. And this is a ECW tournament, so like everybody said, when I think of ECW, he's one of the first names that comes up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was there. His matches are legendary. You know what I'm saying? Especially the barbed wire matches he had, whether it was diving off the top rope into the the crowd or like a chair or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like he was fearless. Like he didn't care about his body. He was almost like Darby Allin before Darby Allin or something like that. You know what
Or
I'm saying?
Mick Foley.
Like he was just reckless, and I think that's why people love him so much because he didn't care. He took those risks. He did what the fans wanted him to do. So
Now he recently passed away, hasn't he?
Yes.
yeah. Wasn't it last year he passed away, or was it or a couple
yes.
years?
It was last year because he had a match, and then a few days later he passed away, and people said that he shouldn't have had that match.
You're right.
But speaking of passing away, today also was the day that Hulk Hogan passed away. Remembrance of him
wasn't it
too.
really?
Was
Yeah,
it
it's been
really?
a year today.
Wow.
And there was another guy, speaking of which, since we're talking about ECW, there was a gentleman who passed away from ECW, and I cannot think of who he was. I'm trying to find his name real quick. Keep going, Uncle Slam. I'll find it here in a minute.
Right. Let's see.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Sorry. Former ECW star, the Equalizer, Paul Bykow, dead at 58. Doesn't say how or anything like that, but best wishes to his family and condolences and all that stuff. Sorry.
All right. I think we're finally down to the last two, which is Raven and Sabu.
Yes.
Any volunteers to start this out, or
I'll go first.
or like would y'all just let me pick?
Wolfman
Wolfman
said
Who's
you
going
go
to
first.
take it?
Oh, Wolfman. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
So this is Sabu versus Raven.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
In the finals.
Ooh.
Greatest.
For the greatest ECW champion.
Oh, he's still thinking.
I got no offense to Raven, but if you're talking ECW, we got to go with Sabu.
Ooh.
All right, one Sabu right here. Okay, Savior.
I gotta go with Sabu. I look at him as the face of the company. I can't not pick him for that. I really want to go with Raven because he had the he held the belt for 252 days for one of his reigns, and that's impressive, especially with the death match style. But Sabu's just that pillar.
All right, so legend.
This is hard. This is a classic. I mean, this is a big time classic. But I got to go because you have to have more than just going out there and hitting somebody in the head with a kendo stick, Sandman, and a trash can or whatever else.
Dude, Sandman is not in this bracket. Okay, we're done with Sandman.
But when you can't just do that stuff, you got to have some kind of ring psychology going on and story going on. And I think because of that, I think Raven's stories were more prevalent, and I just think that Raven takes the cake here.
All right, we got a Raven here. Okay. Let's see, JD.
Yeah, I also am going to pick Raven, actually. I think while Sabu is certainly synonymous with ECW, I think Raven had his best runs while in ECW. So, and I think he's overall the better professional wrestler. He's a better character, he's a better gimmick. Sabu was just a guy, he's a guy who likes to go out there and put his body on the line, which people love. But other than that, what did Sabu offer in terms of gimmick or character development or story, right? So I have to go with Raven because I think he was all around the overall better wrestler than Sabu was. So I'm going to go with Raven.
Is that a 2-2?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes,
what I thought.
Andrew will be the tiebreaker here.
Well, JD took the words right out of my mouth. As much as I love, I don't want to say I love him, but as much as people loved Sabu, again, I didn't get to watch it. The all around, the talker, the psychologist, the in ring stuff, it got to be Raven, hands down. But in this match, hands down, Raven.
All right, looks like we got Raven with a 3-2. I'm going to kind of agree with y'all when it comes to Raven. I feel like, honestly, I felt like Shane Douglas would have been my first pick for, I kind of wanted him to go a little bit farther, but he didn't. So if I have to choose these two, as much as I think Sabu is a pillar, this is a wrestling match when it comes down to the end, and I think Raven is a better wrestler. I think his block would definitely interfere, giving him the edge to beat Sabu. So I would have to go Raven on this one also.
All righty.
So it looks like we have Raven is the
Yeah.
greatest ECW champion. Now, does everybody agree with this, or would they pick somebody else? And I'm going to ask one more question: Is if you could take somebody off this list, who would you replace them with?
Christian.
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 Funk.
All right, everybody takes Christian off, and who would you replace it with?
RVD.
Except he wasn't the champion, was he?
He was never ECW champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
He
Because
was?
he unified the WB title and the ECW title. One night
Oh,
stand.
so he was a Timu one.
So he was the Timu ECW champion.
Yeah, he's with Christian. Timu
kind
champion.
of like it was really before. So he won the Money in the Bank at Mania 22 and cashed in for a title, like not a surprise cash in, like it was planned and everything. And he beat Cena when Edge speared Cena through the table.
I mean, if you have Christian on the list, then I would have put RVD on the list for that too. I would have put RVD over Christian just because RVD was at least an alumni of ECW. So
what I looked up didn't list RVD as a world champion, and I
believe WWE does not recognize him as a champion. I believe you on that.
Yeah, I think he was a one-time champion,
and they probably didn't even count it because of the unification.
They may not have.
Be. Who you got, Legend? Are you changing anything? You keeping it the same?
I would take Christian off. The only reason I added Christian was because I had to stick to the legitimacy of the rules. By ECW standards, it was ECW. It was a world champion. As far as who I would put in his place, I don't know. I mean, if RVD was a world champion, everything, I could definitely argue that because again, he's a pillar. The only other person that I could maybe think of, even though he didn't have very long title reigns or anything, would be Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, I was going to say Tommy Dreamer, maybe a Cactus Jack or anybody.
No.
Somebody like that.
I'd definitely put Tommy Dreamer on the list.
Yeah, Dreamer, absolutely. He's another one you think of when you think of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's what I was going to say too. Yeah, I definitely think of Tommy Dreamer as being an ECW to the core.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that concludes the first one. Now we're going to switch over to the TNA.
All righty.
see. First match on the list, and man, you made these hard, Legend. I ain't gonna lie, this first one is kind of tough. We got Kurt Angle and Bobby Lashley as the greatest TNA World Title Champion.
That's easy.
Let's see. Since you made this, I'm gonna go with the Legend to start this off.
I don't think this is as hard as anybody would think because I'm just going to be honest with you, and I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction that Kurt Angle is the greatest TNA World Heavyweight Champion of all time.
Oh, that's a bold statement there, sir.
Oh, it's
First
true.
round, and you're
Bring the
calling
visual
it.
back up. Bring the visual
He-
back up.
He is the cornerstone of championships when you think of EC or a TNA. I don't think of when I think
man.
of.
I think he makes it to the finals, but I don't think he wins it.
I do. I don't see anybody on there, even AJ Styles.
And
AJ
that's calling
Styles
his
has
shot right now, y'all.
AJ
They're
Styles
probably five more
AJ
people
Styles
on there.
has less title reigns,
The,
and
the
less
legend has the bracket
meaningful.
filled out already.
And no, I don't. I promise I don't. But yeah, I'm going Angle on this one, and I don't even think it's a debate.
Okay, Savior. Can you say?
Yeah, I'm going with Angle on this one. I don't think he wins the TNA bracket. There's two names on there that pique my interest a little bit more than Kurt, but for this one for sure, if Kurt doesn't come to TNA, there is no TNA.
That's it.
I think it dies shortly after he would have come if he never jumped ship.
It was him coming that allowed them to name it their own world title instead of using the NWA title anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know
Like Bobby's reigns were good. Like he put on some classic matches with Bobby Roode. He had a great match with Jeff Hardy, but Kurt's easily takes this one for me.
All right, we got two Kurts here. Wolfman.
I was never really a Bobby Lashley fan, but I do want to give him a shout out to serving our country in the United States Army. Thank you for serving our country and thank you for keeping us safe. But
he's not picking you.
But I'm not picking Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
No
preference
offense.
that.
Get out of reference and pick up a wrestling and pick up a gun, buddy, because you ain't winning this.
Thank you for your service. I'm not picking you.
Yeah, you're better with a gun than you were in the ring, but anyway, I gotta go with the greatest TNA champion, Kurt Angle.
That's a smart man right there.
And
Well,
I
sometimes.
personally got to meet Kurt Angle and got to see him fight.
Oh, that's why
And
you're picking him.
that man knows how to use the ring to his advantage. So I got to go with Kurt Angle.
All right, it looks like we got Kurt on
Three
lead this one.
Kurts so
Andrew.
far.
Yep.
Yeah, it's another promotion that I hardly watch because again, I don't know if I ever was in a position where I had the TV to watch them. So that being said, I didn't know Bobby Lashley was part of TNA, so I got to go with Kurt Angle.
Okay. Kurt Angle by default.
Yep.
JD.
Yeah, I'm gonna also pick Kurt Angle against Bobby Lashley. I mean, I don't think that's really much of a contest between those two. Kurt Angle's not winning it, but he's definitely gonna beat Bobby Lashley in this tournament for sure.
Oh, he's beating everybody.
Mhm.
All right,
Top
looks like
5
it's,
greatest wrestler of all time.
Look like it's Kurt Angle with the win over here. And
He
by
said
the
it
way,
don't matter what I say.
oh yeah. I mean, not really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was gonna pick Kurt anyway. Like I said, I mean, just look at it. Kind of like what y'all said. You know, like when he came out, you know, his end. Yeah, versus what's his name? Like Samoa Joe. You know, that entrance when he came in. You know, suplexing him or whatever. His matches. You know, doing that somersault off the the entrance, and what was that somersault off the steel cage?
Mm-hmm.
Insane. Like, I don't know if he even hit it, but I know he got part of them and shit because it looked like he maybe just hit him with his head. I don't know if he even hit him with the body, but just to have the balls to get up there and do a somersault off the top of a cage, to me, that right there just says it all right there. So yeah, Kurt Angle.
There's a bracket for you in the future. The most underrated wrestlers around.
Right?
I agree. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, next we got. Let's see. Aries versus what's his name? Brody. Oh, Bobby Rhodes.
Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode. Sorry,
wrong
wrong
one.
bracket.
Wrong bracket.
Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode versus.
Yes. Robert Roode in the WWE, which is stupid. They should let him just be Bobby Roode.
All right. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna start off with Andrew for one.
Well, since I don't know who this Aries person is, I'm going with Rude.
That makes it easy, don't it?
Yeah, real easy. Yeah. I don't know who this Aries guy is.
All right. Let's see. Wolfman.
Austin Aries.
Austin Aries. All right. We got 1-1 here. Savior.
Bobby Roode. When I think Austin Aries, I think Ring of Honor. He had a really good run in TNA. I like Austin Aries. No selling to John Morrison or whatever he was going by in TNA when he beat him for the title. He hits the finish and then gets the 3 count. Austin Aries stands up and goes off on the crowd and goes off on Johnny. Like that, you just don't do that. So that gave me a sour taste for him. But Bobby Roode is he's on my fence of being the greatest world champion of TNA.
Oh, okay.
He's the it factor for a reason.
All right. Another bold prediction.
How many do we have right now? Sorry, I just don't. I want to make sure my count's right.
3.
I think it's 2-1.
2-1.
Oh, 2 to
Yeah.
1.
2-1.
Oh,
Bobby.
yeah.
Okay.
Wolfman picked Austin Aries. I forgot.
All right.
Yeah. All right, Legend.
I'm going to go with Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode was probably, if Bobby Roode could have went to the WWE 5-10 years earlier, Bobby Roode would be, I don't want to call him a poor man's Triple H, but Bobby Roode would have been that good.
Mm-hmm.
He is that good. We unfortunately caught him at the end of his career when he was trying to pad that retirement fund in the WWE. And I don't blame him, you know what I'm saying? Because there ain't no, retirement fund. And if the WWE wants to pay me for 2 or 3 years to wrestle at the end of my career to make a little extra padding on that financial situation for the rest of my life, I'm going to do it. But I think if people went back and watched Bobby Roode when he was, and I'm not talking about beer money. I liked beer money, but I think Bobby Roode by himself, like he said, there's a reason why his nickname is the It Factor, and Bobby Roode wins this.
All right. Well, we got 3-1 Bobby Roode. Bad guy.
Yeah, Bobby Roode, I think for sure. He was a better TNA guy overall than Austin Aries. I don't have a problem with Austin Aries, but Bobby Roode was the bigger star. I'm also a huge fan of beer money as well. So,
all right, it looks like a 4-1 on Bobby Roode. Now, I like Andrew. I had no clue who any of these guys were. I haven't really got to watch.
Dude, we can barely hear your microphone. We can barely hear you.
I have to agree with Andrew.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew. Like, I really didn't know anything about these guys. I've really never seen them until I started doing research. So, I mean, I guess by default, I kind of got to go with Bobby just because I don't really know much about either one. So I'm going to, I guess, lean on y'all for knowledge on this one. But he got a clean sweep. All right. Next,
Uncle Slam. Hey, Uncle Slam, in your settings, go under audio and click on automatically adjust mic volume. Maybe you have that clicked off for some reason.
On where now? You said
Go to settings. The cogwheel on the bottom. Go to
Go
audio,
what? Audio.
and then the very last option is automatically adjust mic volume.
Let's see. Display, shift video, audio, avatar, automatic ads presenter. It doesn't look like I have an option for that.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go on with the show.
Yeah, we'll fix it. We'll fix it after the show or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with this mic. Like I said, because it's been fine all week, or it's been fine last week, and then this week when I got on, it was like really low for some reason. Like I don't know if somebody's messed with my settings or if one of my kids got a hold of it or something.
Yeah, your gain is you have to up the gain on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. Our next one is going to be Jeff Hardy versus Alexander.
Josh Alexander, I believe is his
Josh
first name.
Alexander.
Josh Alexander. And I've never heard of Josh Alexander. So this is going to be interesting too. All right. I'm going to go with JD to start this off.
I'm going to. Can you bring it up one more time, J Mac, or whichever one of you is doing the visuals.
We got.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Josh Alexander. I think he's the better wrestler. Also, Jeff Hardy holds my record for the worst or second. He's second in the worst wrestling matches of all time with him and Sting when he came to the ring all messed up and could not perform. So I think that was a huge black eye for Jeff Hardy's TNA career, especially his singles career. So I'm gonna pick Josh. I'm gonna pick Josh Alexander on this one.
All right, we got Josh. One for Josh. Legend.
You know, I gotta utter his sentiments. You know, I was never a huge Jeff Hardy fan. I was never a huge Hardy Boys fan. I liked them, but I didn't think they wouldn't register in my top 10 tag teams of all time. And Jeff Hardy, even before the TNA incident, wouldn't register in my top 25 greatest wrestlers of all time. Probably even top 50. And it's nothing against them. You know, some people like them, some people don't. But the TNA incident totally turned me off of him. And just knowing people who do this for a living or do it, you know, part time, whatever. I see now how much more he disrespected the business, disrespected his opponent, and everybody who went into putting that production of that match together. And for him to be that irresponsible just makes him a target. And I just don't think that you can. I don't think you can shy away from it, and it has to be a factor in any decision. So I got to give it to Josh Alexander, even though I've never seen one match. I've never heard anything bad about him, and I've never heard that he ever did anything like that. So
yeah, no, Josh Alexander, he's in AEW, and he's very good. He's very much like he wears the headpiece gear, like
I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler. He's a wrestler like Chad Gable's a wrestler, like Kurt Angle's a wrestler. He's one of those real wrestling guys, and he's real good in the ring. He is real good.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Give me Kurt Angle, Chad Gable, and Josh Alexander in a three-way match, and that could be the match of the decade.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's see. Okay, Savior.
This one pains me. I absolutely love Jeff Hardy, and I don't like Josh Alexander whatsoever. I'm not taking away from him in the ring. Like he's phenomenal. I just don't see the pop with him. Like
yeah.
I've seen so many fans of his, and I'm just like I don't see it. But the incident with Jeff, just it led to one of the greatest promos I've ever heard and that was from AJ when he confronted Jeff backstage.
Yep.
If y'all haven't listened to that one, it's a must listen. You talk about shooting on somebody. AJ put it all out there. But I wouldn't call the Sting Jeff Hardy match a dream match, but it was one that was like the build up for it was great. And it was one of those that you wanted to see. And then Jeff comes out and he can't hardly walk. You can see it on his face that he's not going to be able to do anything. And then Sting has to force him down, and you could see that Sting held him down for the 3 count. And that just tarnishes Jeff's 3 title reigns, in my opinion, to me. So as bad as I don't want to pick him, I've got to go with Josh Alexander.
When Bischoff is the voice of reason in the room,
Yes.
something's wrong.
Yes.
You know something's wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he makes a beeline down to the ring to stop it. And then he calls it a no disqualification match, and then there's nothing done with that. So I was like, okay, like, why didn't you just come down and just cut a promo and just because Jeff's in your faction, like just cut a promo and like get your signal going.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Wolfman.
I was gonna pick Jeff Hardy because I loved watching him and his brother as the Hardy Boys. Because when they were together, they were unstoppable. But with what Jeff Hardy did outside the ring, putting his life on the line, even when he is, what's the word, intoxicated?
Good word.
I myself have actually been in a wrestling match that nearly killed me. When you're intoxicated, it puts your life even more that close to not getting back up at all. I think Jeff Hardy should be ashamed of himself for ever doing that, tarnishing his reputation, tarnishing the reputation of the company he worked for, and disrespecting the fans. So I got to pick Josh Alexander.
Did we already get you, Andrew?
Nope.
All right.
This will be
How about
easy.
you,
Just
sir?
for every time I see Jeff Hardy at this point, I think of that match with Sting, and I wasn't even a fan of. Not a fan. I did not watch TNA, but for whatever reason, I found videos, replays of it, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So even to this day, every time I see him, I think of that, and so I don't even know who Josh Alexander is, but I'm picking Josh Alexander.
All right, so it's a clean sweep here. So like, do you think if he hadn't let outside things like interfere, that it would have been Jeff Hardy over Josh Alexander?
I think that if he wouldn't have even forget his personal demons, all wrestlers have demons.
Yes.
Yeah.
The problem was when he came to the ring,
Yes.
that messed up.
Yep.
He should have-
Exactly.
He should have never been through the curtains. Even
You shouldn't have been in the building.
forget that TNA should have never let him through the curtains, but
Oh,
he
yeah.
himself should have realized what kind of shape he was in and never ever went out there. He should have went to somebody and said, "I can't perform. Someone's going to get hurt."
Worst
So,
thing
I
about
think-
addiction, you don't know your own limits.
And
I
yes,
think-
I would have picked Jeff Hardy had he had that incident not happened. Had
Okay.
he just
Yeah.
even
Okay.
not come
See,
out
like,
and
that's
they
what
just
I was
figured
wondering,
it
because
out,
had-
yeah, I would have.
I think I remember
Xavier
Sting
would've
on
said
an
the same
interview
thing, too.
talking about that, and Sting
Yeah.
said the same thing, that when he was backstage, he saw in his eyes or something like that that he
Mhm.
wasn't going to be right, or maybe when he got up to the ring, I don't know how it worked, but whatever it was, when Sting said when he first saw him, he says he knew right away. He said it wasn't going to happen.
Said it pissed him off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jeff's entrance, he's smoking on the way to the ring.
Yep.
As
Oh
well.
wow.
And it's like, come on, dude.
That's why,
Like,
I'm
that's
gonna
why
go
he
watch
painted
this
the
match.
eyelids on the.
I'm
That's
about
why
to
he
go watch
painted
this
the
match
eyes.
later.
That's why he painted the eyes on his eyelids because he had to keep his eyes closed for the walk down because he couldn't get them open.
I don't doubt it.
Oh,
I don't know if
God.
that's a true
All right,
story or not, but
No, it's not. But I'm just making shit up.
it's believable enough.
It sounded good.
I know, right? Yeah, see?
I believed it. Hey, I got one more question, JD. Okay, like you said, that was your second worst match. What's your
Yeah.
first worst match?
Oh, Goldberg and Regal all day.
Oh, okay.
Goldberg and Regal all day. If you ask
I
me,
just want to put it out
match
for the record that I'm not the one who brought up Goldberg.
he asked me about the worst
I just
match.
want to put that on record.
Hot take. Hot take.
He asked me about the worst match I've ever seen, and that would have to be Goldberg and Regal. That is a complete exposure of the wrestling business, that match.
Worse than the
bad
finger
guy.
poke of doom.
I can say the finger
Gosh.
poke of doom was for.
Oh man, that is a travesty too, but that was a planned something that no one on the planet liked. That wasn't a match, it was a bit.
You know, that is
Goldberg and
you know-
Regal, that was supposed to be a wrestling match, and it was a clinic on how much far superior Regal was over Goldberg in the ring.
You know,
The
you're
one
gonna have
move-
to. You're gonna make it so they're gonna get another click because I don't remember this match. I gotta go back and find it. So
Go watch it. You should. You should.
The-
Every
the
wrestler,
one-
everybody in the world should see it as a 101. Do not do this in professional wrestling. If you can't handle getting in the ring and doing basic, simple things like an arm bar, a hammer lock, if you can't sell those, if you can't be put in those moves, you shouldn't be in the ring. I'm sorry, you shouldn't. Goldberg should have never been in the ring because he couldn't even do the most basic of wrestling moves.
the one move that nobody has ever kicked out of was the finger poke of doom.
The greatest finisher of all time.
I can't with y'all. All right. Well, that was pretty easy. That was a sweep right there. Like I said, I don't even know who the Josh Alexander is. Honestly, I was gonna go with Jeff Hardy before I heard all this from y'all, and now I'm kind of like, damn, Jeff. I don't. Yeah, he's done fucked up his legacy.
Go watch the Jeff Hardy versus Sting match, and then immediately after that, go watch the Goldberg and Steven Regal match, and you will see the worst two matches in all of wrestling history.
Even Davey Boy Smith could pull off a 4-star loaded, and I don't mean that as a bad thing, but he really did. I mean, he could. All righty, who's
All right, that brings us. Looks like our last match for the first round is going to be AJ Styles versus Nate Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth, Dolph
Nick Nemeth.
Ziggler.
Great matchup too.
Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. Which I'm still a little bit upset over the whole meet and greet, but I'm gonna get over that.
Right. Yeah, I'm still pissed off about that too, but
Pissed off
that's a
about
whole
what?
nother show. We got to meet Nick Nemeth about a month and a half ago, but
Yeah.
we were told that if we bought front row tickets that we would get to meet him, we would get an autograph, we would get a picture, and we would get like a couple of minutes to talk to him. Well, we got there and we paid for their front row tickets. And when we got there, we looked over and there's a sign up that says autograph $40, picture $25, blah, blah, blah. So you ended up having to pay for this stuff anyway. So I was like, we were pissed because, if that's the case, I wouldn't have bought a front row ticket. It wasn't that big of a show, to where the fifth row was any worse than the front row. So it was just like, that kind of made me mad. But I've talked to a couple people since then, and I've learned that it was more his people than it was the company.
Oh, okay.
They kind of played political stuff once they got there, but that's neither here nor there, whatever. But yeah, go ahead, Uncle Slam.
All right, like I said, we got Nick Nemeth versus AJ Styles for the last match of the first round of the TNA Greatest World Championship. I'm gonna start off with the Wolfman for this one.
Let me see the visual again real quick.
All righty.
I got to go with the Hall of Famer AJ Styles because Nick Nemeth has nothing, not even close to as good as AJ Styles.
All
And
right,
he's a
so we
champ
got-
right now, though.
Yep, 2-time champ. Second time.
Yep. Just won it not too long ago.
Yep.
All right, Savior.
This one's easy for me. AJ's the face of the company. Nick is great, but he's not AJ Styles. Like on, in my opinion, on AJ's worst day, Nick still can't lace AJ's boots.
Wow.
Or put on his
Especially,
elbow pads.
yeah, especially when it comes to TNA. In my opinion, the greatest match that I've ever seen is AJ, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels.
100%.
Either Unbreakable or what was the other one? Was it their other triple threat? It was for the world title. I can't remember what pay-per-view it was though. But AJ's easily goes over in this one. I do have a question about this particular for AJ wise, because he was not only the TNA actual world champion, but he was also the NWA TNA world champ. Are we counting that as well? Or are we just counting his 2 reigns as the TNA world champion?
Just TNA.
Yeah,
Okay.
just TNA. So is it still AJ for you?
Yeah.
All right. So we got 1 or 2 AJs.
Yep, 2 AJs. Let's see, Andrew, sir.
I liked Dolph Ziggler. I
Me
think
too.
he was a fantastic in-ring performer, but that was in WWE. But when you think of TNA, you think of AJ Styles. Without a doubt, you think of AJ Styles. So for me, it's AJ Styles all the way.
All right. Bad guy.
Yes, absolutely. AJ Styles all day. I mean, I love Dolph Ziggler, Nick Namath. I think he's a great wrestler, but TNA, you think of that's exactly who I think of. I think of AJ Styles. I think of Christopher Daniels. I think of Samoa Joe.
All right. Like, did I already get you, Legend?
No, sir. Did you get Wolfman already?
Yeah.
You started with
okay.
Wolfman.
Okay.
Yeah, I started with Wolfman.
I was pretty sure. I just wasn't 100% sure. You know, in another world, it would be, I could argue Nick Namath. I put AJ Styles up there with the Shawn Michaels of the world. As a matter of fact, I think he was kind of the modern day Shawn Michaels that didn't have to rip off every move that Shawn Michaels done. I don't mean that as a bad thing towards Nick Namath, but you know he basically was Timu Shawn Michaels in the WWE. I'm not saying that he hasn't.
I
With a
wouldn't
little
go
bit of
that
Billy
far.
Gunn. With a little bit of Billy Gunn mixed in.
With a little bit of Billy Gunn mixed in. I 100% agree.
I agree with that, Jason.
But like I said, in another world, in another time, and in another company, I think if you put these, if you're arguing WWE runs, you could definitely have the argument that Nick could beat AJ. But I think when you're talking TNA, AJ is unfortunately, I don't want to steal your phrase, Andrew, but he was the face that ran the place. And that's just, yeah, AJ Styles it is.
I use proper English. I said I'm the face who runs the place, not the face that runs the place. So there you go.
Yeah, get it straight, Legend. I'm gonna have to probably agree with everybody on this. I feel like when I think of TNA, which, like I said, I don't know much about TNA, but from what I've seen, I think of AJ Styles and I think of Kurt Angle. Those are the first 2 names that pop into my head. I like Dolph Ziggler or Nick Namath, whatever you want to call him. I got the pleasure to watch him perform. He's a hell of a worker. He definitely gives you your money's worth. But we're talking TNA, and when it comes to TNA, there's only one other person that I think of that comes to mind, and it's Kurt Angle. So it's got to be AJ Styles on this one. I think that was pretty much a sweep on that one. And that brings us to round 2 with the matchup of Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode versus Josh Alexander versus AJ Styles.
The top bracket's probably the matchup of this tournament.
Yeah, I think I know
Angle
how
and
this is
Roode.
going to go, but I'm curious how everybody's going to pick. All right. Would anybody want to start this out, or would y'all like me to decide for this?
You pick.
All right. I'm going to go with the legend here since he made the tournament.
All I'm going to say
Let's see that
is
bracket again.
I love Bobby Roode. I really do. I love Bobby Roode. Is the wrong one.
Yep.
He is the it factor. Bobby Roode's great. But at the end of the day, his name is Kurt Angle. What the heck? He won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Kurt Angle. All
Oh,
day
it's
long.
true.
It's
It's
damn,
damn
true.
true.
Love it.
Angle
Love it.
all day.
Angle. All right. Xavier.
Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode.
Bobby for me. In all honesty, if it's not AJ Styles being the greatest, in my opinion, it's Bobby Roode for TNA. It's honestly a shame that he was only a 2-time champion. He should have been the John Cena for TNA. Other than AJ, and even then, AJ was a 2-time champion as far as like TNA World Champions go. Bobby's amazing, whether it's promos, in ring, whatever. And he, until Josh Alexander broke it, he had the longest title reign for TNA. Kurt couldn't get to 200 days. Bobby did that easily. Yeah, so I got to go with Bobby here.
Okay,
Bobby
we got
Roode.
1-1. All right, let's see. We'll go Wolfman on this one, sir.
I gotta go with my man J Mac, the one and only Kurt frickin' Angle.
You're fired.
Nice try.
See, that's how loyal he is. I can't fire him even if I wanted to.
We got an opening. No, I'm just joking.
I accept.
Hey, Wolfman. Just remember, buddy, you're desired by all now, man.
Well, I gotta tell you guys, I'm spoken for.
Right? Sorry.
All right, looks like I got 2 Kurts and 1 Bobby here. Andrew.
Kurt Angle.
He
Kurt.
said plain and simple. That's it.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt. All right, JD.
Bobby Roode.
All right. We got 3-2. I got to go with majority on this. I don't know much about Bobby Roode, so I can't really speak on him. I kind of wish I did know more. But to me, like I said, like when I think of TNA, I think of Kurt. I think of AJ Styles. I know he's had a lot of big moments. I feel like TNA wouldn't even be where they were if Kurt didn't join them. I don't think they would be successful. I don't know if they would still be on the air, honestly. No, I don't want to go that far. I just don't think that they would be, because I feel like they're number 2 behind. Well, I felt like they were number 2 behind WWE. Now I think they've kind of slid, and now it's more WWE, AEW, and then TNA. But if there's no Kurt, I don't think that they even survive. So I'm a Kurt on this one. Next, we got AJ versus Josh Alexander. And I'm going to go with the Savior to start us off today.
Easily AJ Styles.
No thought involved. He said AJ.
No, yeah, not even a chance. If there's a 10-tier ladder, AJ's at 10, Josh is at 1.
It's not even part of the rungs.
Yeah, but no, definitely not.
He's the mat
All right,
that stands
man,
up.
what do you think? You kind of give us opinion already.
I gotta go with AJ Styles, and I know how exactly he would finish it with
How's
the
he gonna
Styles
do it?
Clash.
There you go.
All right, Legend.
I mean, I don't think this is hard at all. Again, I know very little of Josh Alexander. I'm sure he's a fine wrestler, but AJ Styles was TNA's generational talent. I mean, he was the homegrown guy that WCW let go. They just it was I can't even remember the stupid name WCW had him with and everything, but it was terrible. But I mean, AJ went to TNA. He was part of the team, the roster that made TNA what it was with Jeff Jarrett. They brought Kurt Angle in, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels. That core group and everything. And I'm sure there's more too. Bobby Roode and James Storm. But that group right there is what I think of when I think of TNA, and AJ Styles is probably the ambassador of that after someone else, and we'll discuss that in a minute. So it's AJ Styles for this match.
Andrew.
AJ Styles, no question, without question, without question, AJ Styles all the way.
All right. Bad guy.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. It looks like it's going to be a clean sweep on this one. I don't think no real surprise on this one, honestly. I don't know the other guys, so it just makes it 10 times easier. And I feel like AJ Styles is Mr. TNA. Kind of like the legend said, he's homegrown. He got his start there, became a superstar there, won plenty of titles. And I kind of felt like that the finals were actually going to go like this anyway. I felt like it was going to be Kurt and AJ, and I think that's the way that it should have been. So now we get down to the finals of the TNA World Championship
I'm
with
bringing it up
Kurt
right
Angle
now.
versus AJ Styles. And let's see, I'm going to go with the bad guy.
I want to go last.
AJ Styles. It has to be AJ
AJ
Styles.
Styles over Kurt Angle.
Yeah, it has to be AJ Styles. He's the Sting of TNA, the Undertaker's version. The WWE equivalent there. He's the franchise of TNA. He was the franchise player. It has to be AJ Styles.
All right, Andrew, sir.
AJ Styles is the face of TNA. Without question, he's the face of TNA. When you think of Kurt Angle, you don't think of TNA, you think of WWE.
Me.
So AJ Styles for the win all day long with this one, without
You
question.
got two AJ Styles. I'm gonna go with the Savior.
AJ Styles. He's the face that built TNA. When I think of Kurt Angle, like his best run was in TNA, and he even says it himself. But AJ beat Kurt for his first title reign, so I got to give the edge there. But I also TNA loves giving the world title to the former WWE guys. As soon as they sign them, they're like, "Here,
Right.
It don't
Take
matter
this
if
and do
it's
something with
yes,
it.
it don't matter if it's the women wrestlers or if it's the male. Like it's they got a championship. They're like, here, please take this, and like they'll just shove it down the fans' throats. They've sort of gotten away from that, from what I can tell here recently. But when Kurt come over, they did the same thing with Christian. When he come over, they immediately put it on him. But AJ, I mean, he's the franchise. I got to go with AJ for sure.
All right, we got AJ. Wolfman.
I got to go with Kurt Angle.
All right. Somebody different. Okay. It looks like we got what?
Three and one.
AJ and one Kurt.
Yep.
And now we got the legend.
No, go. Well, yeah, I said I'd go last, didn't I?
Yeah, I already
Okay.
got everybody else.
So I got 3 points to make here about this matchup. This is
All right.
probably the best matchup we could have ended up with
Well, like it was
overall.
going to be a surprise. Come on now.
Right. I'm just saying though, in this bracket, this was the matchup that everybody kind of knew was going to happen and we were looking
Hmm.
for. But the thing about this matchup is people have to understand three things. JD, you said he was AJ was uh, the TNA's Undertaker and TNA's Sting. That doesn't mean that you're the greatest heavyweight champion. Undertaker was a great guy, but he wasn't WWE's greatest heavyweight champion. So that automatically, I can't use that argument. Um, Kurt Angle coming over to TNA put TNA on the map. When everybody else tried to put TNA on the map, nobody did until Kurt Angle got there. When Kurt Angle got there, TV deals came in. They weren't showing on YouTube anymore. Now, Angle was TNA's Hogan. He was the equivalent of bring him from another company and pull him in. And let's put everything on him, and it worked for a minute. Unfortunately, management was stupid, didn't know what to do. Third point. Styles is a great wrestler, probably one of my top 10, 15, 15 favorites of all time. But had it not been for Kurt Angle coming to TNA, we might not be talking about a guy named AJ Styles because we may
Hmm.
not even know him. So, I'm not saying he wouldn't have made it somewhere else,
I mean, I
but
knew him before. I knew him
I don't,
before TNA. So
but he wasn't doing anything. He was a jobber. He was a jobber in WCW before TNA. Um, but because of that, I have to say that it's a great matchup. It would be an all-time classic, if you had both of them in their prime, really going at it. But at the end of the day, he's just a sexy Kurt, and he'll make your ankle hurt.
Oh, jeez. You
So,
must have stayed up all night to think of that one.
oh no, Kurt wrote
yep.
that one for me.
All right. It looks like it's
End it with a twist. Get it?
3-2
3-2.
for
You could
AJ
tie it
Styles.
up, or you could.
This is the way I felt that it was going to end, and I think it should. Both of them represent TNA to the fullest. Both of them have done great things. I think they're very symbolic when it comes to TNA. And I agree with everybody's points, like when it comes to AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. But this is TNA, and I feel like AJ Styles is TNA. I feel like he's Mr. TNA. Not saying I'm not taking anything away from what Kurt did or because I believe he really did help, but I still believe AJ Styles at the end would have been a star no matter where he went because he was just that good. And like every place he did go, he was a star. So I think AJ is the greatest TNA champ.
Alrighty. That actually
So
didn't
looks
go the
like
way I thought it was
AJ
going to. I thought we were
Styles
going to be.
is
I,
the greatest.
I
No
thought we were
kidding.
going to be spinning the wheel. I honestly and truthfully did.
You wanted to spin the wheel. That's what it was, wasn't it?
No, I really did. I thought we were going to be spinning the wheel because I thought you were going. I thought you were going to go with
Oh,
Angle.
you
I
thought I was
really
going to go
did.
with Kurt? I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of the hardest matchups there is because like I look at AJ as like the past and Kurt was the future, but they both added so much to TNA. Like I don't think TNA would have been where it would have been if like if they didn't have AJ, and I don't think they would have been where they would have been at if Kurt wouldn't have signed. So I think that they were mutually beneficial, but I don't know who would outweigh who. And in my opinion, I just feel like AJ Styles is more TNA than Kurt is TNA. I kind of agree that I think of him a lot when it comes to WWE because he did have a lot of great matches there, and he had a
Yeah.
lot of great matches in TNA. But I think AJ personifies TNA more than Kurt does, just by a little bit, just by the slim. It's like 1A and 1B.
I think it gives Styles a little more legitimacy because Kurt Angle was the star they needed to keep everything going. He was the star that they really needed to add legitimacy to the title and this, that, and the other. Styles was the guy who became the company man, and that kind of gives him that little nudge. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it always gives you the nudge. But I think that in this situation, it gives him the nudge over Angle because Angle was so prominent in the WWE before. But what people don't realize is he's actually more decorated in TNA than he is WWE.
All right. Well, that ends our tournament, but this brings up the question I asked before. If we could take anybody out of this tournament, who would you replace them with, and who would you take out?
Show the bracket again, please.
Yes.
All right.
I would take Josh Alexander out.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Take
take
him out,
Josh
man.
Alexander or Austin Aries
Um,
out, and I would definitely put in Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll take out Jeff Hardy and put in Samoa Joe.
You got two.
There was a reason I didn't put Samoa Joe in there, and I can't.
You had
remember
him in
what
the
it is now.
AEW
Because you have
bracket.
you have in the AEW bracket.
That's exactly what it is.
I'd have put Mr. Anderson,
Ooh, yeah, Mr. Anderson in there too. Yeah.
Yeah, he could.
Eric Young, Ethan
Eric.
Carter III, Matt Hardy.
What about Christopher Daniels?
I don't think he was ever
He
TNA
was-
champion.
He was never
He's never
TNA World
champion?
Champion. Eddie Edwards was another one.
Did TNA have that stupid
Moose.
six-sided ring?
Yes.
Yes, they did for a
Okay.
while. Yeah.
Yes.
Moose is another one that I'd have put over Josh Alexander.
Okay. Wolfman, what about you? Got anybody you would switch out?
I don't remember if he was ever champion, but one of my favorites was Suicide.
No. He was
I don't
X
think he
Division
was.
champion.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who else I'd put in there? Abyss.
Abyss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Abyss was a homegrown guy, but
I don't think he actually won the TNA, the actual TNA World Champion. I think he was the NWA TNA.
Oh, he was an NWA guy,
Mhm.
or before they switched over.
Yeah, when they were splitting the
Possible.
name.
Yeah, that's possible.
All right,
But I
Legend,
think Abyss.
anybody?
I think Abyss should have been on that list. I think he was good.
Let's see. If I had to switch anybody out, I Jeff Hardy
All right,
and
get rid of Jeff
and
or who?
replace him with insert any of the names we heard. And the reason I say it is just because of the disrespect.
Just
I think he
anybody?
I think he disrespected a legend. I think he disrespected the business, and most importantly, he disrespected himself.
And don't forget
And
the
I-
fans.
Right. And well, yeah, and the fans. And it just, like I said, you could for me and my taste, and again, that's why I stuck with my own whatever that I promised myself with the days and the reigns, that's why he got in, because if it was anything else, I wouldn't have put him in.
Nope.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. Like I said, I mean, that is a major thing, unfortunately, he had to disrespect everybody like that, and there's consequences when it comes to it. So,
And don't get me wrong, it's not the fact that I don't know how to say it. I understand that it was an addiction, and I'm not trying to beat him up for it. But at some point in time, you got to stop letting that addiction. You got to fight it back. And he let all guard down and all disregard for all safety down when he walked out through that curtain.
yeah, because he could definitely really injure somebody and not knew it. Had no
Right.
clue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like you depend and you trust your partner in the ring to work safely. And if they're under
Yep.
the
Yeah.
influence, there's no way in hell that they can work safely. I mean, it's just impossible.
Yeah.
You're putting somebody else's life at risk. I mean, what if he had hurt somebody? What if he had paralyzed them? You know, or what if he had killed somebody being
Hmm.
fucked up? You
And
know,
this was after WWE let him go for failing drug tests anyway.
Yep.
And they put him through a rehab when before they let him go, and then TNA put him through one before he had this incident. And at that point, he had no interest in helping himself. Like, you can send him to rehab all you want until he decides, okay, like I need to actually take this serious. It's not gonna help.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
That's the way addiction is. Until the person who has the addiction wants the help, you can throw all the help you want at him. You can send them to rehab hundreds of times if you want. It ain't gonna matter unless that person is ready to
Mhm.
change.
Yeah.
100%.
And Kurt was the same way. He never
Yes.
had the incident that Jeff did, but they sent him to rehab a couple times, and it never helped. And then I think it was his wife, told him, like, you either get your help and actually get it fixed, or I'm leaving.
Yep.
Hmm.
And it was his wake up call.
100%.
because I remember, I think I saw it might have been the Dark Side or something. They were talking about Kurt, and Kurt was one of those people like he would get fucked up before and after, but he would never be fucked up
Mhm.
like during a match. You know, like he might eat a ton of pills or something before and like let it wear off. He'd go through his match. Then after that, he'd have ice and popping all types of pills, but he would never come to the ring fucked up. That was not him. Like I said, he would never disrespect anybody like that. Now, do we think if Jeff hadn't had the substance abuse that he would have went farther, that he might have been a
Probably.
bigger star than he
Yeah.
already was? Because he was a world champ in a lot of places.
Hmm.
Do you think
Yeah.
he could be bigger?
Yes.
I-
and TNA especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he goes back to TNA after when he feuds with Punk and he ends up leaving after they fired him from WWE. I don't think he ever goes back. He was set to be a monstrous star for WWE,
Yes.
and he just kept failing the drug test, and they finally let him go. I don't think he ever goes back to TNA at that point. I think he becomes one of the biggest stars that WWE's ever seen.
Okay. And, like, does anybody else like share that sentiment, or they say, nah, he probably reached his peak.
I think he goes to TNA that first time. He gets himself straight, and he becomes one of TNA's biggest stars ever. And he is right there with AJ and Angle and all of them as a TNA great as a singles wrestler. He made his tag team career in the WWE/F and singles career in TNA. That's my
Yeah.
final thought.
Yeah.
On that note, guys, I'm gonna bug out of here. I'm not a Jeff Hardy fan at all. I think the wrestling world would be better off without him in it at all. So, and I'm going to bed, guys. I'm out of here. I gotta go.
All right. Well, I
Thank
appreciate
you,
Andrew, for being here.
Man.
You're
Sorry to
welcome,
keep
Yeah,
you
Jeff.
up
man.
so
We'll
late,
see you all
sir.
tomorrow sometime.
All right.
All right,
Take it
bye.
easy. Get some rest.
Bye.
Well, as I was saying, I was the biggest fan of Jeff Hardy until I found out what he did that day, because I just loved how he would just fly off the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
And just like he didn't just jump off, he flew off the ladders. Like, and then what he did, I'm like, did he even think like he could be putting his life or somebody else's life on the line? What if
Excuse
something
me,
happened
guys.
like what happened to the hitman's brother,
Owen.
Owen?
Yeah.
He wasn't even drunk or high. He still ended up dead.
Yep.
But like
Your whole job as a wrestler is, and I'm sure Chad can even touch on this even more. And we didn't mean to turn this into a bash Jeff Hardy or anything like that. We're just, it's addiction, and I'm sure somebody, all of us, have been touched by it in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
But I'm sure Chad can, reinforce what I'm getting ready to say. Your number one priority when you're out there is to protect your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and you're supposed to be able to have that trust that I can let you pick me up and fling my body around and know
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to drop me on my head, on my neck. You're not going to end my livelihood because of the fact that you just wanted to be sloppy.
Yep.
And I think that's where a lot of the disrespect for Jeff Hardy comes from. I don't think it's, I'm so glad he's got his redemption story. He's come back. He's doing better. He's not, he's not an active addict. I won't say he's not an addict because you are always an addict.
Yeah.
But again, we're all addicted to something that makes the pain go away.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be gambling, whether it be drugs, whether it be shopping, whether it be, we're all addicted to something. Video games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but I was like a Greco-Roman wrestler back in the 90s. My one of my last matches, my opponent put me in a legal chokehold, and I literally blacked out. I didn't wake
See,
up until like I don't know how long I was out, but I could have easily died.
yeah, you got to protect, and that's in any sport. You know what I'm saying? You don't go out there with the intent, unless it's boxing, or
Boxing or
UFC.
MMA. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
you
there's
don't
gotta be
go out
intention.
there with well, but even in that, you don't go out there with the intention to end somebody's livelihood.
No,
You go out there in those things to injure.
To win, you don't go out with
Right.
malice intent. You don't
I
go
yeah,
just
to
Exactly.
wrestled that
hurt
Exactly.
because I
or take
enjoyed the
somebody's
sport.
livelihood. You go
Yeah.
to beat them and win the contest, not to hurt them so that they can't come back or
Yes.
make a living.
And
Right.
Yeah,
and preface that I don't think Jeff Hardy went out there with malice intent. I don't think he had went out there with any intent because he didn't know who he
he
was at
wasn't.
the time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew
He
that
didn't
one.
have any intent. Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing when he was out there. Yeah, he
Mhm.
didn't have any intent except he thought he was going to wrestle.
I'm just walking to the ring, smoking a cigarette, and look at all these people. What are they doing here?
yeah. Sorry, guys. That memory just brings back bad memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
it's
the,
it's
the
terrible.
and the bad thing about it was is the character for him at the time was so good. The
Brother
Antichrist,
Nero, yeah.
the Antichrist was amazing, and I was like, and then he does that, and it's like, come on, dude. They actually brought the Antichrist character back last night. Uh, the Hardys had their like final deletion cinematic match with the Righteous.
The Righteous were great.
Mhm.
Great.
He went
Huge
into
Righteous.
their pond or lake or whatever they have at their compound, and he comes back out in like an all white gear, and he had the Antichrist belt with him. So it
I
was
heard
cool.
about
Like,
that. I need to see that. Though.
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw it. Yeah,
I saw the clip. I didn't get to see it live, but I saw the clip and I was like, okay, like that's cool.
Right. I need to see this more.
Yes. I always like when they do the cinematic matches at the Hardy compound because whether it's him or Matt, they always come up with some weird random thing to pull out of the lake.
and
Right.
they're great. They're the cinematic matches that the Hardys put on. I think have redefined what
Mhm.
cinematic matches should be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Bray Wyatt did great in WWE
Mhm.
with a couple cinematic matches, but the Hardys, man, they've taken that stuff to the next level.
I don't know. That Boneyard match between AJ and Undertaker was good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That had me.
That was
That had
classic.
me hooked. Yeah.
All right. I guess we're almost done for the night. I guess we'll let everybody shout out and like let everybody know what's going on. Savior, you want to shout out or like let the people know like what you got going on?
So I will be my next match, unless I get told otherwise, is August 30th in Ironton. That's with Aftermath. We've got September 4th in Olive Hill, Kentucky with Aftermath. September 5th in Catlettsburg, Kentucky with Aftermath.
I had
September-
a girlfriend from Olive Hill one time.
September 12th in Spencer, West Virginia for Route 33. And then September 19th in Inez, Kentucky with Aftermath.
All right. JD,
Uncle Slam, you know the girl. We went to high school with her.
who?
Bethany Maddox.
Oh, okay.
She was from Olive Hill, Kentucky, man. I met her when she first moved down here, but that's another story for another podcast.
Exactly.
Oh,
JD, what you need to shout out, brother?
Yeah, check out Mayhem Media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Tomorrow night we have the continuation of our Marvel series. We're doing 3 movies tomorrow night. We're doing Spider-Man: Homecoming, Thor: Ragnarok, and Black Panther. And then tune in Sunday. Wolfman and I are going to put on a prediction show for the AEW pay-per-view Redemption, I believe it is.
Yep.
That's what. Yeah, I think it's Redemption this Sunday. So we'll be doing that on Sunday afternoon. And of course, Sunday afternoon, I also have After the Dragon with Jedi Theorists. So make sure you check that out. Both of those episodes will be in the afternoon.
that's my boy.
All right, Wolfman.
I just want to give my cousin a huge shout out. I hope you're healing up. I hope you can pull through. But I love you, cousin Wendy, and I hope you hear this. I'm here for you.
We're all praying for her.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Legend.
And check out Wolfman on the prediction shows over at Mayhem Media.
Oh, sorry, what's that? What about you, Legend?
Yeah, I got a few things to announce for us here at Headlocks. Let me get my paper out here so I can. I'm old. I got to write everything down now. So you
With
know.
your pile of sticky notes.
That's right. Yeah, you seen them. It ain't even a joke around here, man.
We
Everybody's
all
like,
know,
"What?
we all know.
What's your decor in your room?" Sticky notes with a few things added in here and there.
Well, you saw my
Um,
collection.
So next week at 9:30, well, let's just start at 8 o'clock. Next week at 8 o'clock, we have the returning and new 2-time EWA champion, the undeniable Chris Crow. Cannot wait for that. He's an awesome
Yep,
guy,
excited.
awesome wrestler. That man's going places.
Yes, he is. He gets a huge pop. every time
Yes,
comes out.
he's got it going on right now. So we got him coming in at 8 o'clock next week, and we're going to talk to him for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. And then about 9:30 on July 31st, which is next Friday, we have the WWE and WCCW brackets. We have got who all do we have on that show? Me and you, Professor Bear, Aaron Rose, the ring announcer, commentator. Love him to death. He's great. And Big Beard Dudley is
All
going to
right,
be
Big
coming
Beard.
back. Yes, Big Beard's going to come back, and that should be a good show next week. And then the following Friday, we also have Sarah Sunshine's partner and his tag team partner. They are, let me get their name right, the Heartbreakers. Tag team is coming on the show at 8 o'clock, and then at 9:30 we will have the finals of the this tournament that we are doing, and that show is going to be an absolute all-star cast. Of course, you've got the megastars, me and Uncle Slam. No, I'm just joking. You got me and Uncle Slam. You've got Michael Joseph Zodiac, Brox Boulder, the bad guy JD, Professor
Boo that Brox Boulder guy.
Professor Bear, and the Wrestling Encyclopedia Sean John. So if that's not an all-star lineup for a finals, I don't know what is. Other than that, guys, we still got we are booked up till the end of the month for August, so I'm not going to go into all that. But we got some great shows coming up. Go over like all these guys' social medias, Mayhem Media, Boiling Point. Go check out the Savior of Wrestling. Go check out Wolfman, man. He's apparently getting noticed everywhere he goes around Pennsylvania or wherever it is he lives. So
Wisconsin.
yeah,
Wisconsin. I'm in Pennsylvania.
man, you up in Wisconsin, man, y'all are spread. I don't know why I thought y'all lived close to each other. He's like, I'm
Nope.
gonna get somebody from every corner of this globe, buddy.
Absolutely, man.
He's got people from
JD's just
Britain. He's
jealous.
got people
Well-
from Wisconsin.
I got people from Wisconsin. Connor's from the UK, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. I said, you got people from Britain, from Wisconsin,
Yep.
from the halls of Montezuma.
Our graphic artist lives in Virginia.
But yeah, man, go check out all these guys. Yeah, I think that's about it. I ain't got nothing else for us. I'll announce more once we get towards the end of those weeks.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good, man. I'm all tapped out for the night, so
Well, I guess referees hit that damn 3 count, so we're gonna ring that damn bell.